how it works, and some of the member benefits that EPS members can enjoy. It's a recruiting program, tracks applicants. It's kind of the entry level for HRIS, if you will. And I don't. Do we need to do any more than that, Tammy? Jack,
I think you covered it
Tina?
pretty good.
All right, then. We've got representatives from a couple of organizations here of the EPS membership base. One who's using and one, I believe, who's not using Jazz HR. So you've got some experience in the room, and you've got some new candidates also listening in. And of course, you can see that the recording has started. And so this will be available to members who can't attend, but do want to learn more about Jazz HR and the benefits of applicant tracking. We do have a couple of other members who are active users of Jazz HR, Park Retirement, and at least one more. I mean, Park Place was working with it as well. And so with that, no more talking from me. I will hand it over to Tammy and Tina, and they'll take you through an introduction, I think a little demo, and then have some time for questions. And Arnav, I'll leave you to kind of stick handle any of the logistics.
Awesome. Thank you, Daryl, so much for the introduction and for organizing today and giving us an opportunity to talk to the group. For those who aren't familiar with Jazz HR, we are an applicant tracking software. Let me start again, though. I'm Tina Wotan. I'm the franchise relationship manager. An introduction is always a good place to start. And my colleague Tammy is also on the call. She's actually going to be walking you through the platform itself, showing you all the bells and whistles, all the really cool features that we have. But before we get into that, I wanted to just give you like a brief overview of Jazz HR, who we are, how we can help you. And basically, with Jazz, it's an applicant tracking software, as I said. So with Jazz, when you open a job, it's going to syndicate to 18 different job boards with one click. And that means big names like Indeed, LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter. So for anybody who isn't using Jazz and maybe you're posting a job to Indeed or maybe also to ZipRecruiter, you've got different posts out there, candidates are applying. There could be multiple candidates, you could have duplicate folks, right? So it's really great to have a place where all those candidates, no matter where they're applying, they're all going to funnel into Jazz HR. And so from there, you're able to, coordinate interviews. If you are a team of, more than one or two people, you can share feedback in the system. You're able to see, who's done what and when. So again, just really a great place to streamline the process, cut your time to hire in half, but not only that, make consistent hires, those hires that you're really, really looking for. So with Jazz HR, you're getting a lot of really great features, but we want to keep in mind that you have other things that you need to spend money on. We want to be a effective solution at an accessible price. So again, you are going to get a lot of features like knockout questions, automations, candidate texting, text to apply, different ways to engage with candidates outside of those job boards as well. We don't charge per user. So as I said, if you're a team of one, you have access to the system, you have control as you grow. Perhaps you want to add more people to your team. They can be added at no cost, and you can also tailor their access levels. Maybe it's just somebody that you want to post jobs for hiring purposes, or maybe you just want them to review certain candidates. So there's a lot of flexibility with Jazz HR and the features that we offer. So as I said, we've got the organic syndication. It's one-click posting. It does go to about 18 job boards, and I did mention the big names. There's probably a few there that are not familiar to you, but that's what's great about the platform, right? We're increasing the visibility of that job, and we are also going to be therefore increasing candidate flow. I mentioned automations, things like automatic disqualifiers. So knockout questions to pre-screen those candidates and eliminate those folks who just don't have the right skill set right from the jump. And I use this example all the time, and it might be very simple and very basic, but do you have a reliable mode of transportation to and from work? Yes. No. Are you 18 years of age or older? These are all really basic questions, but you can weed out a lot of folks by flagging the answers that aren't what you're looking for. And you can even auto reject those candidates. So you don't even need to see the folks who don't meet your skill sets or your criteria that you're looking for. We have interview guides that you can create. So again, we want to keep everybody organized and on task. So being able to create different resources like an interview guide or a questionnaire to make sure that you're really asking those candidates the right questions, engaging with them, getting the information and the feedback that you're looking for to make those really good hires. We also offer a career page. So we will have, your colors and your logos and all those different things to really have that brand quality and attract those candidates that you're really looking for. I also mentioned candidate texting and text to apply. I think we all probably have our phones with us. Mine's right here, making sure I stay on time. Candidates obviously are no different, especially in this day and age. You're going to get a response to a text probably quicker than you will an email. So it's another way to reach those candidates and engage with them in a way that they are used to. It's quick, they want quick, and the text to apply is the same. I've had a lot of folks actually take the text to apply number, they turn it into a QR code, and they'll create flyers or maybe a poster or something like that if there's a career fair or something like that. So candidates can very quickly just scan that QR code and they can begin that application process right then and there. I'm going to stop talking about all these different features, and I'm going to toss it over to Tammy so that she can actually get into the platform and show you the bells and whistles.
All right. Thank you so much for the overview, Tina. Hi, everyone. Hope you're all doing well today. So my name is Tammy, and I'm a partner sales manager here. I work on partner and franchise business. And today I am going to give you a demo of Jazz HR. So we're going to go through all the functionality right now. I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, so can you all see my Jazz HR dashboard?
Yeah.
All
You're
right,
good.
great.
Yes.
So this is the landing page. When you log into your Jazz HR account, you will get a quick view of recruitment. So you'll see what your open jobs are, how many total candidates have come in, how many of them are active, meaning they're in one of your hiring stages already. If you have interviews scheduled, you can do that right through the app in here. We can sync up with your Outlook calendar, Google Calendar. So you can schedule right in here, and you'll see those any upcoming interviews down here as well. Okay. So before posting any jobs, I like to start in settings. Settings is where we do our kind of lay our groundwork, create templates and automation before posting any jobs. Okay. So we're in settings and templates. I want to start by talking about questionnaires. Questionnaires are going to help with candidate screening. Usually the questionnaires go along with the application, but you can break this up and ask them a different set of questions later on in your hiring process. Okay. So as an example, here are some different questions we've set up. You can create them for each position. So let's say for one of your roles, these are the questions you want them to answer when they apply. Okay, you can come in here, customize them all. They can be different answer types. Okay, this can be a drop down, can be a paragraph text for them to just retype things, number, check boxes. To further help with screening, you can make it a knockout question. Okay, so if there are any disqualifiers, if they must be authorized to work in the US and Canada, or they must be over 18 or have a valid driver's license, we can help you auto reject candidates based on their response. Okay, you still get those candidates, we just move them to a different bucket. Okay, moving on to interview guides. So this is internal only. This is for you and your hiring team, really to keep everyone organized and consistent, making sure you ask all the candidates the same questions. Okay, so maybe for one of your roles, these are the questions you need the hiring team to ask candidates. You can create a different set of questions for different positions. Okay. During the phone screen or maybe after the interview, your hiring team can type in the response from the candidate and save those interview notes. Okay, move away from pen and paper. Moving on to evaluations. This is internal as well. This is for your hiring team to evaluate and assess candidates. You can create them for different positions. Let's say for one of your roles, these are the assessment areas that are important to you. Okay, you can come in here and create this, customize this, put in the different assessments, different units of measure, different weight, so your hiring team can assess the candidate. Okay. Moving on to emails. This is where you can create and store all your email templates. Things like, thank you for applying, let's schedule your phone screen. Okay. You can take advantage of these customization tokens down here so that the system fills in the candidate's name, your company name, automate all of that. Once you create these email templates, you can attach them to stages. So when you move them to a certain stage, it sends off that email. Okay. Moving on to documents. So you can upload and store any documents you need to send to candidates. This can be offer letters, onboarding forms, NDAs, anything like that. You can upload in here, customize the fields, the start date, salary information, select the signature block, and then get that document out to the candidate. We use an e-sign tool. We use Dropbox for our e-sign tool. So they can easily complete it, very similar to DocuSign. They can complete and sign it, and that signed document will go back into Jazz HR. Okay. Finally, texting. As Tina mentioned earlier, this is a great way to stay in touch with candidates and to reach candidates faster, actually. We tend to look at text before we look at email. It's just quicker. So the way this would work is we give you a dedicated number and all the texting is done within Jazz HR. Okay. You can set up text message templates. Thank you for applying, or let's schedule your phone screen, your different templates over here. And then we also have text to apply. So you can have these different text to apply based on position. You can create a QR code, as Tina mentioned, so a candidate can easily scan it, answer a few quick questions to apply. You can set up your text flow here, what job you want it for, the questions, and attach it to the appropriate position. Okay. All right, so that is it for settings. Now, once we've kind of, done this background work, we can come over here to jobs. This is where you can create and view all your postings. Okay. So to create a new job, it's this green button up here. I'm actually going to edit a posting. I've got more to show you here. So here's the job posting form. Pretty standard fields, your job title, employment type, experience level, workflow template. I can talk about workflows in just a moment. Down here, your job description, you can copy and paste in your job description. Okay. Your location fields. And then down here, we have free job syndication. Okay. This defaults to yes, meaning it will automatically cast your jobs to over a dozen different job boards. Okay. So I'll come over here to promote and we can talk about those job boards. There's a paid side and a free side. If you want to upgrade and do paid postings on Indeed or ZipRecruiter, there's also LinkedIn, Monster, Career Builder, Craigslist, all the major job boards are here. You can upgrade and do paid postings right in Jazz HR. Okay. Now, if you toggle over here to the free side, this is where we'll post your jobs at no additional charge. This is part of our service you'll get on these boards. Okay. ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn, Indeed, you know, the major boards, and then there are a bunch of other ones in here as well. Okay. Moving over here to the application tab. So this is where you can select your application questions. Okay, so for this particular job, here are some commonly asked ones. What do you need from them? Resume, cover letter, you know, maybe you want references. Check off what you need here. And then down here, those special screening questions. Okay. We did this under settings, but you can edit here as well. And again, if you have those knockout questions in place, depending on how a candidate answers, we can help you auto reject some of them. If they get auto rejected, you can decide where to send those candidates. You can customize these dispositions. I'll get into that in just a moment, but you know, if they fail a question, probably makes sense to put them in not qualified, and then have a rejection email go out in a day or two. Okay. That way, all your candidates get some kind of response. Workflows. So this is where you can create some automation. Okay. Workflows are your hiring stages. You can come in here and customize your workflows, however many stages you have. You can label them whatever you want. So for example, new is when they apply, and then you probably have a phone screen stage, maybe an interview stage. Now with each stage, you can add workflow helpers. So this can be an email template going out to the candidate. Thank you for applying. At the phone screen stage, it can be a different email template. You know, click here to schedule your phone screen. You can also have a text message go out. Okay, so if you're getting them on text and email, it just increases the likelihood of connecting with them. Okay. Down here, as you get further along, you know, you might have a background check stage, offer stage. Maybe at this point, you send out your e-signature document. Okay. This can be the offer letter or any onboarding forms you need to get out to them. So once you have the workflow in place, you add your workflow helpers. So when you move a candidate to a certain stage, it kicks off that workflow. Okay. Down here are your hire dispositions. So if you're going to bring them on board, will they be full-time, part-time, seasonal? You can change these labels to whatever you need. And then you can have the appropriate messaging go out as well. You can add workflow helpers here. You can have an email go out, you know, for full-time folks. If they're part-time, they get a different email. Okay. Down here, your not hired dispositions. So if you don't bring them on board, it's often helpful to label why. Why did you not hire them? So you can put in these different labels. You know, maybe they failed an interview, maybe they're not qualified, or sometimes you might want to mark them good future hires. So you can easily pull them up for other roles. Okay, so how you label this is completely up to you. And then again, you can add the appropriate messaging for each disposition. Okay. The hiring team. So with your Jazz HR subscription, you can add as many users as you need. There's no additional charge. Once you make them a user, you can add them to hiring teams. So as you grow, you know, you may have a hiring team for your administrative jobs, a hiring team for your field positions. This way your users are only looking at those jobs and candidates if they're involved in it. Okay. The refer tab. So if you want to ask for candidate referrals, this is an easy way to help you manage and track that process. You can blast out an email from here, maybe put in all your employee email addresses, customize the email message. We include a special link. This allows candidates to apply through the link and it brings them back into Jazz HR. And through the link, we can track who made referrals. And there's a report that you can run to see how many of those referrals you actually hired. So if you have a bonus you want to pay out, that report can be helpful. Okay. So that is it for the job posting. Once your posting is live, this is what it looks like. Okay, so it's going to be your colors, your logo, job description, the application questions you selected, special screening questions, and if you have texting, we do need their consent, so we opt them in here. They can just uncheck it if they prefer, and then submit application, and we'll bring them back into Jazz HR. Okay, so whether they're coming from Indeed or LinkedIn or ZipRecruiter, they're all going to funnel back into your account here. Okay, so when they apply, this is where you can view your candidates. Let's say, for example, the business development role. Okay, so I got 136 total candidates. We can come in here and view those candidates. All right, so I'm going to pull up a candidate profile here. Let's go. I'm going to find, here's my alias, here's a candidate. All right, so here's your candidate profile. You can see their location, their contact information, the source that they came from. This person came from Indeed. If this person was referred, we'd have the name of the referring person here. Okay. Now, if you have texting, you can text them right here. Okay. Again, we give you a dedicated number for this. You're not using your personal phone number, and all the texts are saved right here. Okay. If this person has applied to other jobs in your organization, you can see what other jobs they applied to and how far along they got. Okay. Now the candidate profile. If you ask them for a resume, cover letter, special screening questions, all that information is going to be here. Okay. Now, if you know this person is not a good fit, you can reject them right away into one of these not hired dispositions. If you are part of a hiring team, you can vote to reject or advance, okay? And you can see how your team voted. If you're ready to move them on, you can advance them over here into one of these other stages. Okay. Let's move on to, let's say it's time to schedule an interview. You can come in here to this tab. There are a couple options for this. You can invite the candidate to self-schedule, okay? We use Calendly for this. I don't know if you're familiar with Calendly, but it's a really convenient way to just send your link out. They can get to your calendar, see what's available, and just book directly. Okay, saves you all that back and forth time. So if you want to use the self-scheduling function, okay, you do need a Calendly account. It's free. Get that set up, integrated with Jazz HR. Then you can come in here and select your interviewer. Let's say I want Sarah to meet with my candidate. She's my interviewer. And I'm going to set her up with interview guide questions so she knows what to ask them. And this email is going to go out to the candidate. In the body of the email will be a Calendly link so they can self-schedule with Sarah. Okay. There's another option to schedule as well. So if you have several people you need to meet with the candidate, you can come in here and do it this way. This is going to pull up calendars. I mentioned that we can sync up with your Outlook and your Google Calendar. So just give this a second to load my calendar. Okay, so here's my calendar. Here are all my other Jazz HR users. Okay, let's say I want Abby to meet with this candidate, and I also want Ashley to meet with this candidate. Now we're looking at 3 calendars. Okay, we're going to make this easy to coordinate. You can see that this time slot works for all of us. I'm going to pick this here. And now everyone gets a meeting invitation. I'm going to fill in my event details. Are we doing an on-site? Are we doing a video conference, Zoom, Teams link? You could include that. The interviewers, I said Abby. And I also said Ashley. Okay. All right, now I'm going to hit next. And Abby and Ashley, my interviewers, will get their meeting invitation. Along with that, they get the candidate's resume, candidate's profile link, interview guide questions if we've set that up, and a link to the candidate's URL if they have one. Okay, so everything they need for that interview is right there. The candidate gets their meeting invitation, they can add this to their calendar. Okay. Very simple to schedule. Now, when it's time for the interview, okay, I can see that I have this interview coming up. I just hit launch. And now instead of like going through my emails to find that resume I got 2 weeks ago or go through spreadsheets, everything for my interview is right here. Okay. I can easily view their resume. I can go over the job details with them. Here are the interview guide questions, so I know exactly what to ask them. I can type in the response from the candidate, rate the response. Here's a scratch pad for additional notes. Complete interview saves my notes on this candidate. Okay. Once I've saved my notes, I can easily share it with the team. So I can see here that Joe met with this candidate already, and here are his notes. He gave them a pass. He doesn't have a lot of notes, but that's the idea. You can see each other's notes. Moving on to the discussion tab. So you can further communicate with your hiring team here. You can post comments. Okay, you can share this with everyone or limited access, or you can make this a private comment. Down here, if your hiring team voted on this candidate, you can see how they voted. Okay, Tina voted to advance them. Down here, we have George and Tony, they voted to reject. Joe already met with them. He's got interview notes in here. Okay, so everything is in one place for you. Moving on to the email tab, you can email your candidate, of course, using one of your templates, or you can type up an email. More importantly, you see all the email history between the hiring team and your candidate. Okay, the documents tab, I mentioned earlier, any documents you need to get out to the candidate, offer letters, onboarding forms, you just upload in here. You can customize start dates and all that good stuff. They can easily sign it, and that signed document will come back in here. Okay. So that is the candidate profile. Now, if you want to look at all your candidates, okay, you can come up here. This is going to give you a holistic picture of all your candidates, okay? All the candidates that have come in, since you've signed up with Jazz HR, whether they applied from Indeed or LinkedIn, or they were referred from an employee, they're all going to sit in here. Now you can filter. Maybe I want to pull up all the folks that applied to this BDR job. I'm going to further filter by workflow stage. Let's say I want to pull up folks that I marked good future hire. I was full before, but I did like them, and now I have some other openings, so I want to contact them. Down here, you can also filter by resume keywords. If you need someone that's bilingual or has some kind of degree or certification, pop those keywords in there and further filter. Once you get your list, select your candidates. You can go over here to bulk action. You can blast them all in email. Hey, we have this new opportunity coming up. Would you be interested? Send them a text message, add them to a different job, download their resumes. Okay. And then finally, the reporting section. So we have a lot of pre-built reports for you ready to go, very easy to run. One popular one is the candidate source report. It's often helpful to see where your candidates are coming from, which job board. So this report is going to give you that. Just give this a second to run. So this is going to give you a breakdown where your candidate's coming from, LinkedIn or your career page. It shows the number of applied, advanced, and then all the way down to hired. I don't have a lot of data in here, but this would show you, any job board they're coming from that we automatically post to for you. Okay. Sometimes the number of applied is going to be high, and then the number you actually hired, may not be as high as you thought. So this is going to give you that insight. Also, Candidate pipeline is another good one. This is going to give you some insight on how long it takes on average to backfill a position. Okay, so we break it down by workflow stage from phone screen to interview to reference check. It tells you on average how many days the candidate spent there. Okay, so this can uncover bottlenecks. This is kind of a long time to spend in the phone screen stage. What can we do to shorten this? Okay. And then there's one thing I forgot to cover. So let me just go back here. The career page. So we not only post to over a dozen different job boards for you, but we can also sync up with your career page. Okay. So let me just show you that right here. Under settings, if you go to career page, okay, there are a couple options. If you don't have a career page yet and you want to do it through Jazz HR, it is included. You can do a custom layout. It takes a little longer, but you can customize everything. Or you could do a quick responsive layout. You can come in here and put in your color codes. Okay. Upload your company logo, some company information, and you can put together a career page similar to this. Okay, so it's going to be your brand colors, your logo, all your jobs listed out, some company information. Okay. Now, if you already have a career page set up on your website, that's great. It's even easier now. You just take this jobs widget, embed it in the code on your website, and this is what will connect Jazz HR to your career page. So when you post in here, it will automatically post on your career page, and when candidates apply through that page, they'll funnel back into Jazz HR. Okay. So that is the overview. Anyone have questions?
Fire away, Mary.
Yeah, so I do know that you showed some of the options for customization. Do you have any unique set of customization based on our requirements? And also, you did talk about the filtering portion. So, do you have any AI integration wherein if a candidate is uploading their profile and does your system automatically match the skill, or does it recognize any keywords that we choose in the job description? Do you have any such capabilities? And then, yeah, the other final question I have is about ensuring the data security in terms of compliance with regulations. Do you have like if are there any possibilities of data breach, and what are the requirements do you have?
Sure. Yeah, we are compliant in terms of data privacy. We ask permission before, if you have texting, for example, we do get their permission to send them texts. And we've never had a data breach, any kind of security breach. Your other question around, I can send you a document if you'd like, if you want to read about our privacy policy. Your other question was customizations. Yes, you can customize the application questions, interview guides, workflows, that's all customizable. And then there was another question.
Yeah, about the filtering option when a
Oh,
candidate
yeah.
is uploading their profile. Do you automatically match the requirement based on the job description that we post, or do you have any?
So
Yeah,
yeah, so the application questions will help with that, will help with screening. We're still working on some AI technology, but the candidate questions will help you with that. You can set up knockout questions.
shortlisting.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Like it is based on the shortlisted questions that we
Mhm.
basically enter initially, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then if you look at all your candidates over here, you can do some filtering by job title, resume keywords. You can do a Boolean search in here. We didn't go over this, but categories is another way to help with filtering. Categories are basically labels that you can put on candidates. So whatever is important to you, if hiring bilingual candidates are important or someone that has some kind of certification, you can create those different categories so that you can easily pull up, if you're looking for someone that's bilingual, all the folks that you labeled bilingual, you can easily pull them up that way.
I think Mary, oh, I'm sorry.
Just
I was just going to comment real quick about, I think Mary said something about AI functionality and capability. I do know that I want to say, and Tammy, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe Q3 or Q4 of this year, I do believe we are working on our end to incorporate kind of the AI functionality into our platform. So while it may not be there yet, it is very near there.
Okay,
Yep,
sounds
it's
good.
definitely coming soon.
And
I
I'm
just had a
sorry,
quick,
Jackie, go ahead. Yes.
that's okay. I just had a quick question. In terms of integrating this software with a current software that we have, so there's nothing for onboarding with Jazz. Correct me if I'm wrong. So for example, what happens to the information when the candidate, accepts the offer, we send them their letter, we send them all the onboarding forms, they fill everything back, they send everything back. Does it just stay on that platform, or can it be integrated in certain things like first name, last name, address, all of that into the payroll system? Or does Jazz HR do that?
We have numerous integrations. So ADP, who are you using?
PGI.
PGI?
Yeah.
Tammy, I'm not sure about that one. It's not one I've heard of, but that doesn't mean it's not possible. If we don't have an integration, it could very easily be done. But we do partner with numerous payroll companies, and I know that for the majority, it's a very seamless transition from, once that person is no longer considered a candidate and you've moved them into employee status, it will transfer like your basic info, right? Name, contact info, all of that to your payroll system fairly seamlessly without any sort of trouble. But I can look into the PGI integration to find more information.
And so there is nothing in terms of onboarding. It doesn't go any further, right? Like you guys don't have an onboarding platform or performance management or anything like that.
Correct. We do not. Yeah. But we do integrate with a lot of these providers. So I pulled this up. Here's a list. This is not the complete list. These are just some of our major partners in HRIS and payroll. So ADP, obviously a big one. There's a whole bunch in here. Okay, there's more that actually not even on this page, and we're always looking to add to this.
Okay.
Assessment providers, background check providers. That's all in here as well. In the meantime, if you want to move a candidate, this is what you could do in the meantime. So let's say this person, is a good fit, you want to hire them, you can come over here to export candidate. If you don't have an integration yet, you can export into a CSV file. And this is going to get you that high level candidate information into a CSV file, and then you can upload it into your other system. So it's going to be name, email, phone number, just some contact information like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions before we jump back out of the platform and into the riveting slide deck that I have created for today? All right.
Sorry, I do have one more question. I
No, that's
apologize.
okay.
Are we going to be discussing at all costs? Like what's your cost based on? Is it based on, how many users we have or how many staff we have, or how is it based?
I
Or
love
is that
this,
coming up?
Jackie. You are right on target. You are segueing me into my next section. It's
I'm
like you
sorry.
knew. No, it's okay. It's a great question. Let me jump back into my deck here. And there we go. Okay. So pricing is coming up next. But just to kind of recap the different, features that Tammy showed you in the actual platform. Again, we just want to reiterate why we think that Jazz HR is a great solution for applicant tracking and enhancing your candidate experience and also cutting your time to hire in half. The candidate experience itself, it's an extremely mobile friendly solution that we have. We mentioned the texting, we mentioned the automations. But the one thing that I do really want to stress is that, your success is our success. And so we want to make sure that, you have everything that you need always. So when you have questions or, maybe you're just curious about a particular topic, we have a support team, we have a success team, but also you have me as a direct contact and resource to really help you. So if it's, questions about setting up your platform or your account itself, if it's, best practices for job posting, we want to work hand in hand with you and really make the process, seamless and easy. So here we have the member pricing. So you've got a plus plan, and I have this thing that is in my way and I can't see. You've got your plus plan and your pro plan, excuse me. Couple different options. So there's month-to-month options and annual options. The only real major difference with the month-to-month versus annual, outside of the cost, obviously, is the fact that on a month-to-month plan, you can hibernate your account or pause your account for $19 a month when you're not actively hiring. So let's say you sign up with Jazz HR next week, you start posting jobs, you're filling your roles, you're good to go. After about maybe 4 weeks, you reach back out to us and say, hey, look, I need to pause my account for the time being. You still have access to that account. You can see your candidates, you can see all your data. Everything is there for you. The only thing that you can't do is actively post. But when you're ready, you let us know. It's just the flip of a switch and you're back, posting jobs again, no problem. So again, everything that you see here, and I'll make sure that you all get a copy of this deck and the pricing information as well for reference. But like I said, a couple different options. And then if anyone is interested, this link right here will take you to request a demo, and it will be something similar to what Tammy provided today, but it will be much more personalized. You can ask, questions specific to, your location, your area of, business, whatever it may be. Please also feel free to jot down my contact info. If you have questions after today, I know I always think, oh, I covered everything. I asked everything I wanted to ask. And then, an hour later, I've got 5 more questions. So please feel free to reach out to either Tammy or myself. Does anybody have any additional questions now, having seen the pricing or the package plans?
Does it cover the training and all of that? Like if at all we need any customer support or training to any users,
Yes.
is that all covered?
Yes.
Okay.
We offer onboarding calls when you initially sign. And if for some reason, what I always tell folks, if you're having trouble getting something scheduled, I'm available to do an onboarding call. So we will make it work for you. And yes, training is always available. And we also have we have a help center in which Tammy did reference during her presentation. But the one thing about our help center that I really love is you type in maybe one word, let's say like workflows, and it gives you every article ever created about it. And the other nice thing about our help center is that most of the articles contain like short little videos. So you can very quickly and easily watch something and get your answer. But yes, please always reach out. I always say if you really don't want to go to the help center, just reach out to me and I'll help you. So I'm your help center.
Yeah, and in addition to that, if I could just add on, once you're past the onboarding, the initial month or two onboarding, if you feel you need a refresher or you have some new recruiters that you want to be trained on Jazz HR, we do offer ongoing live training. It's weekly. It's a live group training. You can sign up for as many as you need. That's all included as well.
Any other questions before we maybe give you a few extra minutes back in your day?
Yeah, it's just the data policy that we are looking for just to ensure if there are any encryptions in place from your end, and if we have any sensitive HR data that's been uploaded and any user details, access control, what are the measures that are in place to control or access any sensitive data, and where is your data stored, basically. So these are usual protocols that we follow for any software applications that we use in our organization.
Tina, you still there?
I am. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I was jotting a note down and I realized I needed to be talking to. Yeah, Mary, what I can do, and I could even provide it to Daryl if that makes more sense and he can share it as needed. But I know we have all of that kind of documented in probably a PDF or something like that I can provide so that you can see. It's also something that I would imagine, Tammy, correct me if I'm wrong, but anyone, kind of walking them through the system, that would be something that they would be happy to kind of cover with them during that call as well, right?
Yeah, of course. I'll send over the privacy document onto Tina and she'll forward it along.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right. I guess not.
Excellent. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure. It's good talking to you all.
That was informative. I think we have, I certainly learned some things as I listened along, picked up a few ideas and learned a little bit more about the filtering functions and some of the management functions within the system that I hadn't come across before. Happy to take the information from you on the privacy side of things, the security side, the ISO 27001 or whatever standard you're adhering to, and we can make sure that that gets distributed amongst the membership to give the reassurances they need that they're not opening a portal to a new hack that seems to have been going around. Certainly, our part of the region, I think we're up to 3 big, 2 government and 1 private sector hacks within the last 14 days or so. So,
wow.
yeah, it's been a rough ride here in British Columbia recently. So, yeah, protecting data is the top of everyone's mind, and keeping up some senior executives at night these days. So.
All right.
With that, I want to thank you again for joining us today. I appreciate everyone's time. Hopefully it was helpful for a bunch of you and gives you more knowledge about Jazz HR and how it can be used effectively in the organization to improve recruiting speed and catch more candidates before they sneak out the door and go off to other jobs and accept other roles. So, if you have any questions, like Tina and Tammy have said, follow up with them directly, or certainly come through us, and we can. When I say us, it's Ian or Chris or Arnav and myself, and we can make sure you get the connection you need to get in touch and get the answers you want.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Thank
I'll
you
follow
so
up with an
much.
email, Daryl, with a bunch of info and things that you can share or post or whatever you need to do.
Fantastic. Thanks again.
Awesome. Thank you,
Thanks,
Have a
guys.
great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Have a good
you.
day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.